Alright, welcome back everybody. It's been a long time since I played this, and I'm about to die. Although last time I died, I went back to my last save, or last, I guess, checkpoint before that. So I think the next time I die might have to be the last time. Anyway, let's get right into it. Welcome back to Roadwarden. Did I say that already? You reach the edge of the village, a cliff as tall as the wall. Alright, so that's somewhere over here. Where is that? Beneath you, two creeks meet each other and form a gentle river. These are the trees we use to learn more about woodwork. Ayla is smiling as he leans his back against the wall of a house. We plant new ones, but we'll soon have to bring wood from further away. Give the saplings a few years, or however long they grow. A decade. And this is where I leave the two of you with your boring tree talks. Efren points at you. See me later if you need. I'll be around. I rarely hunt alone. The carpenter watches his departing companion with genial eyes. Well, there's work to be done. A new chair awaits me. He leads you to a humble working station, placed at the edge of the square. The tools you notice are very simple, if not primitive. We don't have to talk about my trade, Prim. What brings you to us? I guess I'll share this news with them. Old Pagos is suffering from a plague. The village is isolating itself from outsiders. He freezes, puts away his tools, then looks at you with wide eyes. Wait for a bit, will you? Without warning for your response, he springs up and knocks down a few things as he lurches away, asking his neighbors to call the entire tribe. I hope they don't think that I am infected. People surround you, asking what's going on, and once the news spreads, you answer dozens of questions, though most of what you have to say could be summed up with, I'm not sure. Aside from the worried faces, there are also more pragmatic ones. Hunters mention that they won't be able to deliver their autumn pelts, while one of the farmers wonders about their cousin. She was always so pious, she says with an accent you remember from old Pagos. May thou right reward her prayers, or else. After some time, the crowd pays you little attention, and Ayla leads you back to his workshop. They and I will discuss this later, he says with an absent voice, then sits down and glances at his neighbors. I have heard about the bandits. Have they caused you any troubles? He makes an awkward cut with a chisel and lets out a quiet sit. Ew. And then starts to rub the flank of his thumb. Bandits, you say? Soldiers from the city have already taken care of them. He pretends that there are no bandits in the north. I need to gain his trust. Oh, I think the bandits are from here. Okay, is Asterion around? He halts his work. Is he always going to be astonished by everything I say? He halts his work and looks at you with an exaggerated frown. That's a weird question. You're the first Roadwarden I've seen in, well, this season, I think. Did you check in the western villages? You'll get to Howler's Den simply staying on the run. His right hand, still holding a tool, is now squeezing his stomach gently. Did you guys kill Asteria? Did your bandits kill Asteria? Huh. Okay, yeah, everybody's saying he's been here a long time. People say that Asterion has spent a lot of time in your village. You're hiding something. He adjusts his shoulder cape and clears his throat with a grunt. People, well, there's some truth to that, but Asterion isn't here, and we don't know where he is. He took our coins, but for fair labor. He moved wares to other settlements, patrolled the roads, escorted an old woman to a druid and back. Did you know you can get good prices for iron at Elder's Den? But even better at white horses? Seeing your look, he turns away and rests his elbow on his workbench. His plans are his own problem, and I have no reason to believe he wanted to be found, nor can I help you. This village isn't much older than you are. What's its story? He proudly raises a carving knife and gestures for you to look around. It may be a young village, but there's a lot to say. While his story is loaded with names, relationships, a step-by-step description of the growth of the settlement, and the bothersome creatures, you get the gist of it. Excuse me. The settlers arrived here 25 years ago, soon after one of the 10 cities had fallen to the southern invasion. Most of them came from the capital, while some joined them along the way. They soon came to realize that none of the villages had enough space or the will to host a few dozen refugees. The folks of Gale Rocks used to have a much kinder attitude towards strangers than they do now, and they offered the newcomers to stay at the beach behind their village. Yet there was nothing for them to eat other than what they caught in the salt waters. They soon started their search for a land remote enough to not compete with the locals, and with the help of kind folk from Gale Rocks, White Marshes, Old Vagos, and others, as Ayla vaguely states, they received enough wood and tools to turn a scrap of this plateau into a clearing, then a camp, a hamlet, and finally a village. Fascinating stuff. The tale is assisted by walking around the village, introducing you to the original settlers or their offspring, and showing you some of the treasures displayed in the House of Gathering. A unicorn's horn found at the heart of the woods, a blue rock that's shaped and hollow like an egg, and is darker inside, an arrow that hit a right ape in an eye and knocks it down. Behind each of them, there are names, stories, and memories. At the very end, Ayla leads you back to his workbench, holding a hand on his conspicuous stomach. To give his throat some rest, he turns the topic around. And what are the folks at Hobhaven like, right? Foggy says there are thousands of souls at the capital, and one can go their entire life but still finding new faces in the crowd. Okay, there's a lot of things to say then. Let's see. Maybe so, but my city feels lonely. Many people around, but all of them are too busy with their duties to set their lives with others. Let's see. Especially want to know. No souls, no kind doors, the streets are built empty. These different groups hang out with. Not together, work together. Just gonna see, And I thought that would have been a good one. I might go with this children's one. It's hard to say, but the riches are getting richer based on the game. Guilds decide who goes in and out. Yeah, well, just about all of them have some kind of something positive, something negative to them. Alright, I think I'll go with the children one then. Being an outsider must be harsh then, especially a poor one. Lost in his thoughts, he reaches for the piece of wood he was working on with. On the other hand, I don't envy those who bind themselves to folks that may or may not turn into beasts one day. Here, he looks around. Ties tighten and loosen with time, and change isn't so scary. Alright, let's learn more about the peninsula. Our tribe won't be much of help there, he admits while judging the hard surface of a small thing. It was our parents who did all the traveling, and they did so while we were kids, or not yet born. Most of them are already gone, and most of us travel no farther than to Foggy's, and only when we have to. What do you think about Ephraim? He gives you a surprised look. I care for him deeply. He's brave and has a big heart, but both of our pasts were rough. I don't think you need to hear about them. Okay. I've heard you have some issues with the Eastern. At first, he gives you a bright smile, but then nods with a sigh. Aye. So our issues are so clear that folks gossip on it? I'm glad you came to our help, friend, but it doesn't feel right to admit we need help from an outsider. He stands up slowly, walks away, and leaps over one of the log-made tables and looks for something in the pile of wood. In this part of the land, there's always going to be something to do for our road warden. He straightens up with a piece of charred wood in his hand and gets back to you. As he draws black lines on the workbench, he mentions a few names. Creeks, foggies, Gale rocks there. Here's the lake. The map is simplistic and doesn't align with your own understanding of local distances, but you follow his description without issues. The path from here to the south is getting too wild for us, he repined, making another few strokes. The merchants travel through the other route, through Howler's Den, passing by old pigos and white horses. Once they reach Foggy, they already have full stomachs and many deals closed, and when they travel back, they visit the same places again. Folks already know that trading here takes a long time. So you want me to give them an option to get to you first and move west without backtracking, and do so all by myself. How exactly? Huh. Well, I'm sure you can find some help. He pats his stomach without noticing that he leaves a few black dots on his leather jacket. There's a few things you could do. Follow the eastern road and see if it's clear. Are there any safe shelters left? Any blockades to get rid of? Is there an overgrown path to burn? Maybe see if the roads from here to the western crossroads is safe, or if the cars could get through the heart of the woods. If you're brave enough, I hope you're a soul with a sage judgment. Excuse me. Seeing your puzzled look, he rests his palms on the table with a side smile. I know I'm vague, but I bet you already know more about these roads than I do, friend. His eyes return to the map, and after a moment of hesitation, he rubs an uneven line with his thumb. If I talk about pay now, he's probably not going to like that. I'm pretty sure he's going to pay me when I get back. Yeah, I don't think the other settlements are going to help. Where would you like me to start? Go to the shelters set just at the side of the road. There's a ruined campsite west of Foggies. He makes a small circle on his map. Or you could go south to a cabin our elders built. He makes a larger square. It's halfway from here to the river. Take a look around, see what's their condition. If there are any beasts around, you can handle a few small creatures, can't you? Yeah, I think I went to the cabin. That had a small house that was kind of ruined, and there were foxes or something. Can't remember. I haven't played since June, or actually just about a month ago. I think it was June 16 or so. Let's see. I think I'll go with this one. Two shelters, and then you just want me to take care of anything I find. He laughs, but not with his eyes. Forgive me, friend, but you don't sound like someone with much experience behind you. You're nothing like a Asturian. He took pride in his self-reliance. I think they're gonna make me ask about the pay. You forgot to mention my pay. That depends on what you're about to do, The tribe has but a few dragons. Oh right, the money is called dragons, okay. To confirm his words, he enters the nearby house, from which he picks up an old wooden case, crude in shape and with an unsightly engraving of a three-headed hydra on its lid. Inside it, you see maybe 24 dragon bones. Let's say you'll get a dragon for the news, while cleared or blocked paths, and more if it takes real effort from you. Wait, how does this make any sense? So you want me to act first and pick up my reward after? You're playing with my patience, when that's literally the way everything has gone until now. I'll say, we have a deal, let's get out of here. He flashes you a wide smile and pats his stomach. You won't regret this. He then throws away the charred wood, returns to his stool, and looks for his tools. Oh, the shelter in the west isn't safe. Better stay away from it until the dusk foxes move out. Dusk foxes? After he meets your silence, he carries on. I don't know what that is. You describe their looks and the threat they present as Ayla observes the keybox, sometimes asking you to explain more. He finally squeezes his cloak and reaches for a coin that's been resting on the workbench. Well, sounds not as dangerous as a tribe of goblins, but it may be better for us to hunt them down in the spring. We may need your help then. For now, a single dragon bone will be fair pay for this news. Thanks. Well, that's a start. Keep it up. Okay, can I get paid for each of these things? I took a look at the dolmen in the south. It's safe. He keeps sculpting wood and asks you about the size of the entrance of the town. I've heard it's small, but not that small. Not enough for a group, but maybe a lone traveler, without a mount. He looks at you with a smile. Pick a dragon bone from the case, will you? I don't want to stop now. You reach for the ugly head of a hydra. Do all the coins look different? Huh. If he's not looking, then he'll know. I grab a coin. Good to see you don't idle around, Roadwarden. Let's see, so I think this is supposed to be south of me, the watchtower. I encountered a fallen tree in the far south. You describe its exact location. I guess it was unavoidable for this to happen at one point or the other. Too bad it's so far away from here. He stops his work and turns towards you. So would you like to help us with that, friend? You ask him what he proposes, and he describes what he calls a day of honest work. Just come to me someday in the early hours. I still need to discuss this with the tribe, but I'll ask the stronger folks to travel with you to the trade. They'll agree if they feel like the roads can be trusted. Split it into blocks, get it on wagons, bring it here. It won't go to waste and the road will be cleared. When you mention it's going to take an entire day, he agrees. And you'll get 5 dragon bones for it. Just come to me when you're healthy, and only if you already know what's on the route from here to that point. We'll put a lot of trust into your guidance and protection. Okay. So you want me to get to know the entire route, make sure it's safe enough for your tribe to follow it, and come here in the morning, but only if I can handle the journey. Quite a list, but fine, we'll see. Yeah, let's try that. He thinks about your words, then reaches for his case. You're right, that's a lot. I can't help you much, but at least you deserve 1 bone right away, for bringing me the message. Maybe buy some rations for it. Or a good rest. Actually, we also need at least 1 day to prepare ourselves. Thanks. Okay, I have no vitality. How do I get vitality back? I think I have to sleep. Okay, I'll let you know if there's anything else. And that's basic going, actually. Let's see, he blows the savings, sending them flying to settle on the ground, and considers the next tools to select. Huh. I'm worried about those bandits, Mila. He might trust me now, I think. Yeah, that's why this is lit up. He looks at you for a bit, then nods slowly. Those are not some strangers, but folks of the north, our neighbors. One of them is from our very own tribe, and they don't target us, just strangers. You ask him again if he's sure no one from his village has been targeted so far, and after a cold eye, he reaches for a carving. Oh, okay, so that's why he was protecting them. I was wondering about effort. Excuse me. Actually, I'm also out of time, so I think I'm going to call it here, and I'll read from the top next time, because whenever I start, I read from the top. So I'll see you next time. Bye! I hope this recording didn't mess up.